Hi, today we're going to talk about something cheerful and family-friendly: self-destruction. You know, that beautiful human talent for taking a life that is already complicated and saying, what if I make it worse? A person knows cigarettes are bad and still lights one like it's a tiny Olympic torch of poor decisions. A person knows anger is poisoning them and still drinks it every morning like coffee. A person knows crime, addiction, violence, revenge, and hatred lead to pain. And somehow the brain whispers, yes, but what if this pain is my personality? Self-destruction is strange because from the outside it looks stupid. Why would someone ruin their body, destroy relationships, chase danger, worship chaos, or build an entire identity around suffering? But from the inside, it often feels different. It can feel powerful, familiar, even comforting. That is the trap. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who spent a suspicious amount of time staring into the basement of the human soul, believed that people are not only guided by reason, they are also driven by hidden forces: the shadow, old wounds, instincts, shame, fear, hunger for meaning, and parts of the self we refuse to see. And the shadow is not some cartoon demon with horns. That would be too convenient. The shadow is the part of you that says, "I'm not angry," while your jaw is preparing for war. It says, "I'm fine," while your life is quietly catching fire behind you. It says, "I'm in control," while you are being dragged around by habits, pride, resentment, and dopamine like a dog on a leash. Self-destruction often begins when a person cannot face their own pain directly, so they convert it into something else. Sadness becomes aggression. Shame becomes arrogance. Fear becomes control. Loneliness becomes addiction. Powerlessness becomes violence. And an empty life becomes a dramatic disaster series with terrible ratings, but somehow renewed every season. Imagine a man carrying a heavy black bag everywhere. Inside the bag are humiliation, childhood pain, rejection, failure, guilt, and fear. But he never opens it. He just hits other people with it. That is how many destructive patterns work. A person does not wake up and calmly decide, "Today I will damage my future." Usually they are trying to escape something: emotional pain, boredom, weakness, rejection, meaninglessness, or the unbearable feeling that they are nobody. The problem is that the escape route often becomes the prison. A cigarette becomes my break. Alcohol becomes my confidence. Fast food becomes my comfort. Porn becomes my intimacy. Rage becomes my strength. Crime becomes my respect. Hatred becomes my purpose. And the brain loves this nonsense, because the brain is not a wise monk sitting under a tree. The brain is more like an ancient monkey with Wi-Fi access and a credit card. It wants relief now. It wants status now. It wants sugar, revenge, dominance, pleasure, and escape now. The future? The monkey has never met him. So when someone does something destructive, the key question is not only, why are they doing something bad? The better question is, what reward are they getting from this damage? Because even pain can become rewarding if it gives identity, attention, control, belonging, or emotional relief. Some people don't just suffer. They build a throne out of suffering and sit on it like a king of garbage. And yes, that sounds ridiculous, but it is very human. Self-destruction has many costumes. Sometimes it looks small: smoking, overeating, sleeping badly, scrolling until your brain turns into soup, choosing toxic relationships, procrastinating, lying to yourself. Sometimes it looks darker: addiction, aggression, criminal behavior, cruelty, revenge, obsession with dominance, or living as if the world is an enemy and everyone else is just furniture with opinions. And sometimes it becomes cultural. A person grows up in an environment where violence is normal, crime is respected, corruption is smart, empathy is weakness, and self-control is treated like something for boring people who drink herbal tea and pay taxes. If that is the world you know, destruction can look like survival. Hate can look like strength. Aggression can look like masculinity. Breaking rules can look like freedom. And hurting others can look like winning. This is why some people don't need only punishment. They need re-education. Not in the creepy dystopian sense with gray uniforms and motivational posters, but in the real sense, learning that another path exists. Because many destructive people are not simply evil masterminds. Some are wounded, some are immature, some are trained by their environment, some are addicted to status, Some are trapped in shame. Some discovered that anger works faster than vulnerability, so they turned anger into a lifestyle. And yes, some people are dangerous and must be stopped. Compassion does not mean letting a wolf run a kindergarten. But if we want to understand self-destruction, we have to look deeper than bad person does bad thing. Jung would say that when the shadow is ignored, it does not disappear. It becomes stronger. It leaks out. It takes control from the basement. The person who refuses to admit weakness becomes obsessed with power. The person who cannot admit envy starts destroying what others build. The person who cannot face shame starts humiliating others. The person who feels dead inside starts chasing danger just to feel alive. That last one is important. Some people enjoy destruction because it gives intensity. Life feels dull, empty, meaningless, or humiliating. Then chaos arrives, and suddenly there is adrenaline, drama, conflict, identity. It is not happiness. It is stimulation wearing a cheap fake mustache. This is why hatred can become addictive. Hatred simplifies the world. It gives you a target. It says, you are not lost. You are a warrior. Your pain has an enemy. Very convenient. Also very stupid, but emotionally effective. The brain likes simple stories. I suffer because of them. I failed because of them. I am angry because they deserve it. I destroy because the world is rotten anyway. That story protects the ego, but it also traps the person. Because if everything is someone else's fault, then you never have to change. And if you never change, your suffering becomes your home address. There is also a biological layer. Destructive habits often hijack reward systems. Nicotine, alcohol, drugs, gambling, junk food, social media rage, even violent dominance. They can all produce spikes of dopamine, stress chemicals, and emotional relief. The body learns, when I feel bad, do this. Then the habit becomes a button. Pain appears. Button pressed. Temporary relief. Future damage. Repeat enough times and the person stops choosing freely. They are not living. They are being operated by old wiring. Modern culture knows this very well. Many companies do not need you wise, calm, healthy, and independent. That would be terrible for quarterly growth. They need you anxious, hungry, lonely, distracted, insecure, and easy to trigger. A peaceful person buys what they need. A wounded person buys promises. So the market sells relief in shiny packages. Smoke this, drink this, eat this, scroll this, hate this group, buy this identity, numb this feeling, join this tribe, consume this until your soul files a complaint. And we, the advanced civilization with satellites and plastic cheese, keep falling for it. Because under the suit, under the phone, under the university degree, there is still an ancient nervous system asking, am I safe? Do I belong? Do I matter? Can I get pleasure quickly before a tiger eats me? The tiger is gone. The algorithm remains. So what is the way out? First, stop romanticizing destruction. A cigarette is not rebellion. It is a subscription plan for lung damage. Constant anger is not strength. It is emotional debt with terrible interest. Crime is not power. It is often poverty of imagination with legal consequences. Hatred is not purpose. It is a cheap fuel that burns the engine. The destructive path often feels powerful at the beginning and pathetic at the end. That is the scam. It gives you fire, then asks for your house. The constructive path is less dramatic. That is why people underestimate it. Building your body, training your mind, learning emotional control, making money honestly, repairing relationships, developing skill, helping people, creating something useful, choosing discipline over impulse. None of that gives the instant thrill of chaos, but it gives something better, a future you do not have to escape from. Jung's core idea was not, be nice and pretend darkness does not exist. Quite the opposite. He believed a person must face the shadow, understand it, and integrate it. In simple language, stop lying to yourself about what is inside you. You have aggression? Good. Train it into courage, boundaries, and discipline. You have desire? Good. Aim it at creation, love, work, and mastery. You have pain? Good. Don't worship it. Learn from it. You have darkness? Congratulations, you are human. Now stop letting it drive the car. Self-destruction begins to lose power when you can name the reward behind it. Ask yourself, what do I get from this habit? Relief? Control? Attention? Belonging? Revenge? Identity? What feeling am I avoiding? What truth would I have to face if I stopped doing this? This is not comfortable, but neither is living like a haunted vending machine for bad decisions. The next step is replacement, not fantasy. Do not just say, I will stop being destructive. The brain hates empty space. If you remove a toxic reward, you need a better one. Replace rage with physical training. Replace shame with skill building. Replace loneliness with real connection. Replace chaos with challenge. Replace cheap dopamine with earned satisfaction. Replace hatred with standards. Not soft positivity, standards. A standard says, I do not poison myself for style points. I do not destroy my body to impress people who won't visit me in the hospital. I do not confuse anger with strength. I do not make my trauma everyone else's weather forecast. I build, even when I feel like burning everything. Some people reach rock bottom and then change. They find faith, service, discipline, therapy, responsibility, or a mission. Sometimes they become almost fanatically good, as if trying to repay the universe. Good, let them build. But the deeper point is not about one religion or one ideology. It is about the ancient choice, destruction or creation. Civilization itself has moved through both. Wars, cruelty, greed, exploitation, crime, corruption, all of that is part of the human record. Not a pleasant museum, more like a crime scene with architecture. And yet, humans also build hospitals, science, art, laws, families, schools, music, medicine, and systems that reduce suffering. Slowly, imperfectly, often after making a catastrophic mess first, because apparently we like learning through explosions. The world is still full of war, addiction, corporate manipulation, broken economies, bad values, and people being treated like psychological monkeys with wallets. But that is exactly why the individual choice matters. You may not fix the whole planet today. Annoying, but true. But you can stop adding poison to your own corner of it. You can become less reactive, less addicted, less hateful, less driven by wounds you refuse to examine. You can build your body instead of abusing it. Build your mind instead of numbing it. Build your future instead of proving your pain was real by making everything worse. The final thought is simple. Your darkness is not your destiny. Your pain is not your personality. Your hatred is not your strength. And your worst habit is not a religion. You are allowed to leave. Choose the path of creation, even if you have to crawl toward it at first. And if you watched this video until the end and found it useful, subscribe to the channel. It helps this project grow, reach more people, and maybe save a few brains from becoming unpaid interns for chaos. Good luck to you. And honestly, good luck to the world. It needs it.